Weeks practice and we had good concentration. Now from this point on, we need to continue to review our assignments. And mentally, you can just review the game in your mind, just like you expect to see it, and the things you expect to accomplish at game time. And it comes from just thinking about it and concentrating on what you're trying to accomplish. We've got a big one coming up this weekend, so let's give it all the concentration we got. Let's bear down with it. All right, let's get a Ram take.
All right. All right. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. 1, 2, 3. All right.
1983 would prove to be a year of comebacks for head coach Leon Fuller and his football squad. Fuller, the former defensive coordinator at Texas, rejuvenated Ram confidence and pride his first year. CSU was considered to be the 6th most improved team in the country, coming off a 4-7 1982 season. Right out of the box, the Rams had to come back from a winless and injury-riddled September. At one time during the month, 22 players were sidelined with injuries.
Get away, number 2! Get away, man.
The Ram Express finally took off in the 5th game of the season. CSU was at home against Utah. The hometown fans watched as a fired-up defense defused a final Utah drive to assure a 31-28 Ram victory. They also watched quarterback Terry Nugent set a CSU total offense record with 408 yards for the day. Another offensive weapon was beginning to unleash his fury. An unlikely hero, an unlikely fullback, 5 foot 8 inch, 185 pounds, red-shirted, lion-hearted walk-on, Steve Bartello. The small but mighty fullback carried a record 43 times against Iowa State, gaining 134 yards. Following a loss to nationally ranked Arizona, the Rams returned to the smiling faces of Hughes Stadium. It was homecoming against the Aztecs of San Diego State. The defense, led by Jeff Harper, Stan Horning, and Jim King, put in a bruising afternoon, holding the Aztecs to just 9 yards rushing. The story of the day, however, takes shape late in the game. With just over a minute and a half left, the Aztecs go on top 15-14, thanks to a 2-point conversion. But the Rams battle back. 9 plays and 80 yards later, CSU place kicker John Poole drills a 39-yard game winner. Just when you're feeling good about yourself, you're faced with a road game down in the West Texas town of El Paso. CSU stayed with their bread and butter, a big, strong offensive line, and the little bull, Bartello. The spunky freshman clawed, dove, and squirmed for 205 yards as the Rams rolled past the upset-minded UTEP Miners 31-15. A secondary that was down the first part of the season was suddenly beginning to rise to the occasion. Led by Jim King and Dan Hammerschmidt, the Ram backs picked off 4 Miner missiles, 4 from San Diego and 2 from Arizona. At this stage of the season, Nugent was ranked 13th nationally in total offense. Bartello was leading the conference in rushing with 103-yard average, and Rams setback Kelly McGregor was listed 2nd among the league's receivers. Finally, it seemed the Rams had something to shout about. The defense got the ball for the offense. The offense got the points. The team was starting to believe. Without that faith, they probably would not have been able to pull off what they did the following week. It was magic and miracle time at Hughes Stadium as the Rams took on the Lobos of New Mexico. The game was even much of the way. With 4.5 minutes left, the Rams are down by 7 but driving. Disaster struck on the New Mexico 30-yard line as Lobo linebacker Johnny Jackson recovers a fumbled snap. 1:50 remains. As some of the fans scatter to beat the traffic, the defense routinely keeps the Lobos from getting a first down. New Mexico kicks, and the rest is history.
It's Hail Mary time now, and there's a long pass. Champagne makes the catch from Nugent out at the 39-yard line and goes out of bounds. Stops the clock with 35 seconds to go. Nugent goes back. He passes again to the sideline. McGregor makes the catch at the 50. Comes back out to the middle of the field. Instead of going out of bounds, he's tackled at the 38-yard line. Here's Nugent with time. Down the sideline, and Champagne again steps out of bounds at the 22. Now it's down to 9 seconds. They call Nugent for grounding. That'll put it back from the 30-yard line to the 36. And also a loss of down. At this point, it doesn't matter. All receivers to the right. Here comes the pressure on Nugent. He throws it long, long, long. It's up in the air. It's batted around, and it is caught at the 1-yard line. 1 second to go. They'll move the clock. It's caught at the 1-yard line. I think either McGregor or Jenkins came out of there with it. It came down in the hands of the Rams. 1 second on the clock.
I don't believe it.
1 second to go. I don't know who caught the ball.
It was Jenkins.
Was it Jenkins? Jenkins caught it. All three were right there along with the defenders. 1 second to go. Okay, here's Nugent. Got the snap. He goes straight ahead. They have not signaled a touchdown. Nugent scores on the last play of the game. He puts LaBelle in motion. Terry Nugent still on the count. Here's the snap. He goes back. Pass. Caught. Kelly McGregor's got it. CSU has won it by a point. 25 to 24. An unbelievable finish. The fans come roaring out onto the field. Colorado State has defeated New Mexico as Nugent threw to McGregor at the end. It was 25 to 24. CSU.
There wasn't time to send in advice from the bench, so Nugent handled the ride himself down that 40-second stretch. His poise and performance earned him Sports Illustrated Back of the Week. The WAC also named him Player of the Week. The game marked the first time ever that a Ram team had strung together 4 straight WAC victories. The accolades tumbled down. It was enough to make you believe. The resilient Rams didn't stop believing the following week as they played host to the University of Northern Colorado. They put it all together against the Bears. The defense held the UNC running backs to just 38 yards on the ground and picked off 2 passes. On the offensive side, fullback Steve Bartello remained the league's leading runner by grinding out 112 yards. Quarterback Terry Nugent sent the record book back to the printers for updating. His 31 completions on the day set a new CSU single-game completion mark. His output now gives him season records for most completions, passing yards, and total offense. Nugent's favorite target was Jeff Champagne. This deadly combination hooked up 12 times for over 200 yards. The Rams were rolling, 4 wins in a row, but they were also rolling right into Cougar country. It was the 11th week of a tough 12-game schedule as CSU took on the BYU Cougars. The game annually takes on David and Goliath proportions. This year, Brigham Young was ranked 8th and possessed the nation's top passer and total offense leader, Steve Young. The game also had championship overtones. A win by the Rams over Young and company, followed by a BYU loss to Utah the next week, would have put the Rams in the driver's seat for the Holiday Bowl. The Rams gave it a championship effort. The defense was especially strong, shutting out the explosive Cougars in the first quarter, even though they had 3 tries from point-blank range. The potent Brigham Young attack was held 120 yards under their total offense average and 23 points under their scoring clip. A big victory for the Ram defensemen. The offense was able to move the ball, but inconsistencies kept them from lighting the board more often. Bartello had 126 yards on the ground, and Nugent got nearly 300 yards through the air. The 24-6 loss left the Rams with a 4-3 record in the conference and 5-6 overall as they headed into the season finale with Wyoming. CSU Wyoming is the oldest rivalry west of the Mississippi and is more of an event than a game. But this year, the Rams left their heart in Provo. The Cowboys were up and the Rams were down. Wyoming wins it 42-14 in Laramie. The Rams scored more records than points on that icy afternoon. The walk-on freshman sensation Steve Bartello gained 160 yards against Wyoming and finished the year with 1,113 yards, the best single-season performance in CSU history. He became only the 16th freshman in NCAA history to rush for more than 1,000 yards. He also distinguished himself by becoming the NCAA Division IA's first walk-on freshman to gain more than 1,000 yards. Wide receiver Jeff Champagne ended his CSU career by setting the school and league career receiving mark. And this is the same conference that graduated John Jefferson. Kelly McGregor also got his name in the national record books. His 69 catches this season set a new NCAA receiving record for tight ends. But the real record of this year's Rams was expressed by the spirit of the team as a whole. The young but gutty Rams showed they had the stuff it takes to come back from misfortune and change, from the agony of injuries, the shock of an 0-4 start, and the stress of a clock that's winding down. The spirit and comebacks of '83 provide a promising beginning. It's left coaches, players, and fans with a sweet taste of optimism and anticipation as the Rams storm back in '84.